Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to Southern Light Work. I want you to join me in my protective bubble of transparent vibranium. It is impenetrable. It's one-sided view. We can see out, but nothing can see inside. I want you to join me in this protective, impenetrable bubble for this reading as we prepare for a full moon in Scorpio. It's also known as the flower moon. And just did a quick internet search for what to expect from this full moon energy. Probably already feeling it. This one is about transformation, deep emotions. It's been really rainy here where I am in the world for the past few days. And at night. It's been raining a lot at night for like hours at a time. So that is a focus this full moon is bringing in. Intimacy, shared resources. It's a powerful time to release, shed old layers, uncover hidden truths. It's like the moon in the tarot deck. And it's here to promote profound personal growth and emotional clearing. So those are not my words, but just one interpretation for this moon energy. And because it's also a flower moon, I wanted to pull out my botanical deck. So I've got my Herbal Astrology Oracle and Green Witch's Oracle for some messages that might be helpful for us. I've got my Red Fairy Tarot deck to clarify any messages that come out if we need to. And a deck that I just got, the Oracle of Awakening, which I've not used yet. So this is the inaugural use of this deck. We will see what messages that Spirit wants us to get today. So our ancestors are here with us, yours and mine, guarding us as we sit in this bubble with their wisdom, their strength, their guidance. They're warding off any negativity. They're here to repel and redirect anything that means us no good. Ask the Most High God to help me to be a clear channel for this reading, for clear and concise messages, only for our highest good. And Archangel Metatron, help me with the accuracy. Archangel Michael, add an added layer of protection for us. So it is. Try to keep it short and sweet because the day is dwindling and I need to do a few things. So it's already been productive, so hopefully you've all had a productive day as well. Try to be as thankful as possible for every moment and not just focusing on what I haven't done. We can get really caught up in that and kind of makes us feel anxious. It makes us feel like we haven't accomplished anything. But if you can be still during your day and reflect on what you have accomplished and the meaning of that, pat yourself on the back if you need to. I'm going to shuffle one more time. Playing 963 hertz frequency. So what do we need to know, Spirit? B, community, cooperation, and sweetness. I was just reading about shared resources. I'll ask for 3. Okay, thank you. Autumn and mushroom. So for autumn, it says bounty and balance. That is lovely. Harvest energy. Mushroom, recycling, breaking down problems. Okay, so that may be something that's part of what's hidden that we're going to be called to address, to acknowledge. We all know what that is in our own lives. I'd love to look at the bottom of the deck, so let's see. Bottom of the deck is Moon. Phases, cycles, intuition. It's Moon energy, I'm telling you. Scorpio does not play. Scorpio energy does not play. It's also like coincides with the death energy in the tarot. The ending, unending. It's not the ending. It's an ending of something, of a cycle, of a phase. But also, I'm hearing heightening intuition. So I'm just going to read quickly. These aren't, I don't think these descriptions are very long, but I like to get the author's interpretation of these cards. So, B. Community, cooperation, and sweetness. B inspires thoughts of sweetness and community. Bees work together, functioning in cooperation with others to advance the health and safety of their entire hive. Communication is central to this goal. In the end, through hard work and service to others, they create something pure and sweet, honey. It's the sweetness of honey that reminds us to be kind to others. Reminds me of more than that. The bee card asks you to consider if you feel fulfilled and connected in your relationships, or if you need to communicate your needs to others more. Remember to be kind whenever you can. Be kind. I'm sorry, I'm being goofy. And to meet any challenge with an open heart. The reflection is, what part of your life needs clearer communication? How can you work more effectively with others? Okay. So that is a nice message for the collective. We could always use a little reminder about cooperation and getting the most out of our interactions with people. You know, you could just spend time with folks and focus on what went wrong, or you can focus on what went right and improving the way that you interact with people. So autumn, bounty and balance. Autumn is a time to slow down. The high energy of summer's expansion calms and turns to a slower rhythm. There is space for acknowledgement and gratitude as the intense production of the previous season yields a crop. The autumn equinox is a time of balance, when the hours of daylight and night are equal. The autumn card reminds you that balance is important, whether it means balancing work with appreciation for the harvest or balancing intake and output of energy. Don't overtax yourself. Remember to refuel in times of hard work. The reflection for this card is, have you been successful when it comes to balancing your work and personal life? If not, how can you strike a better balance? It's always a good message. I'm always preaching it too, because I've been struggling to find it myself, the balance, the margin, you know, being able to sit down when you need to and not, I think the collective has been kind of championing rest by not grinding. Grind culture is like a thing of the past for a lot of people. It's not about the grind. It's about like, how well can you rest? Let's compete for wellness and health through rest, right? Mushroom. Recycling, breaking down problems. A mushroom's main purpose is to aid in decomposition. They use enzymes to break down decaying organic matter, feeding themselves in the process. Mushrooms and other fungi are also part of the greatest mycelial network, a vast interconnected network of hair-like roots that transfers information to not only other fungi but to plants and trees as well. The mushroom card supports you as you break down problems into smaller issues and work to solve them separately to make incremental advances in life. The discoveries you make with every step forward can be used to nourish and enrich future projects. The reflection here is, have you run into a challenge that may best be addressed if broken down into smaller pieces? So this is a good reminder for me, because I personally, maybe you can identify with this, if I'm starting something new, I want to rush into mastery. And that is not possible for many things. Like if you're a Gemini like me, we're good at a lot of things. And I'm not just saying that, it's true. Every Gemini that I know is really good at many things. Like, we are not one-trick ponies at all. But we also get a bad rap for being, a master of none. Like, we jack of all, Jill of all trades, and master of none. We just dibble and dabble in things. But if we can't master it because we're such perfectionists, we're done with it. But this is calling us to really take it piece by piece, bite by bite, do something well by breaking it down rather than just putting it as another notch on your belt. Something is calling you to really take your time with it. Something you just recently embarked on, some new endeavor, schooling, like some type of, I said that like an old person, some type of education that you're embarking on, whatever that, formal or informal. So that is good advice. And for our moon energy, let's see. So I'm really taking the time to see how these are categorized in this book. Kind of haphazard, but all right, the moon energy. Take a breath. I feel a little breathless right now. Somebody could be dealing with anxiety or asthma even. Botanicals for asthma. My grandmother used to, now this is a story I heard, I didn't see her do it myself, but apparently she used to inhale the smoke from menthol cigarette for babies with colic and like just blow it onto their chest. That apparently was very effective. So you might be called to, this just came out of nowhere. If you're dealing with asthma, you may be called to find not a home remedy, because I know that you do need medical intervention at some point, but like there may be some home remedies that you can explore as well. So the moon card, the pale glowing moon is visible at different degrees throughout its monthly cycle. Even though its appearance changes, the moon is always present. Take solace in knowing nature is always there for you. The waxing and waning of the moon reminds you that nothing is static and that change is both inevitable and healthy. You just may not be able to see it all the time. The phases of the moon represent various energies as manifested in the growth and retreat cycle of nature itself. Nothing is ever at a standstill in the natural world, and the same goes for the energy flowing inside you. Sometimes you may find you retreat into yourself, and other times you reach outward for help. The moon card asks you to trust what your intuition tells you to do. Sometimes it's both. The reflection for this card, do you tend to withdraw when overwhelmed, or do you reach out for help? Somebody needed to hear that. All right. And actually, I'm feeling like I don't need to use this deck because I feel like those messages might be similar. Let's just get some from tarot. Let's do tarot next to see if we can get more specific on these. More specific on what is the energy, the energetic signature of this message. What does the collective need to know, Spirit? One more. I'm just kind of mesmerized by the flames dancing in my candle. Seeing people dancing. Quite literally. Wheel of Fortune. So this with this B card, community, cooperation, and sweetness. This cooperation is going to lead you to your destiny. You might be someone who has historically done a lot of things on your own. And you've had some success, yes. It's proven to be safe. It's proven to be reliable. You can rely on yourself, right? If you disappoint yourself, you can't be mad at anybody else. But this moon energy is calling you to trust that cooperation and community will bring you closer to your destiny. We do things much better and more efficiently when we work with people. It doesn't have to be perfect. They don't have to be people that you work with all the time. You can work with different groups of people at different times in your life to reach a common goal. You know, like you have different goals in life. You use different people with different talents for, you know, the collective effort. And your knowledge and wisdom and things that you learn along the way in your life contribute to other goals and other people's projects as you... Hope this is making sense, because I feel like I'm being real generic, but I'm trying to be general because I don't want to say anything specific. I want it to just be apply as broadly as possible, because this is any number of things. This could be talking about anything, from family connections to platonic to work situations to volunteer efforts, whatever it is that fits your situation. What about bottom? 5 of Cups. However, it flipped over. 5 of Cups in reverse. When you get out of the despair of whatever you planted, feeling like it was never going to blossom, like you were never going to get the harvest, you're not going to have to despair anymore. You're not going to have to worry about what opportunities may have been missed, what you forgot to do, what, you know, like what things on your to-do list didn't get done. Like, you're not going to have to worry about those, because the harvest is going to show you that what you did was enough. You don't get a harvest without planting anything. But what you yield shows you just how important it was that you did what you did, and that it was enough. What about mushroom? Page of Cups. Recycling, breaking down problems. So for the mushrooms to be here, we're talking about recycling, we're talking about breaking down problems, we're talking about speaking about your emotions, speaking on your raw emotions, your underlying emotions is going to be significant for you. And with recycling, it may feel like you're rehashing something that you've already worked through, that there's no need to revisit this, but when you recycle something, you make it into something useful again. You know, if we just throw away all of our plastic, we know where it ends up. But if we recycle it, it's useful again. We can repurpose it. So if you're bringing up old emotions, you're bringing up old stories, you can use them to your benefit. There may be something that you need to say. There may be something that you need to do, some type of messaging that involves sharing your emotions, the underlying stuff that we don't like to deal with. There are a whole lot of mushrooms you don't see. When you're in the forest, I look for them on purpose, but I know when I'm walking, I don't I don't see all of them because sometimes they're under a decaying tree. Sometimes they're at the bottom of a bed of moss, just they're everywhere, but we don't always see them. But they're doing what they're supposed to do. They're breaking down, they're decomposing matter, organic matter. That's what your underlying emotions do. Hope that makes sense. But if you acknowledge them, if you dig them up, they still have some use. They still have purpose. They can help something else, some other efforts. And 4 of Cups with the Moon. Maybe you've been holding back. I mean, if you're hiding some emotions, you're still harboring some emotion, not necessarily hiding them, but if you're still holding on to some untapped emotions, to some things that you have not dealt with, this moon might give you it's giving us the permission to address them. See. Then some advice, please, from the Oracle of Awakening. What is our advice? I'm going to move forward with this. Structure. Build a strong foundation. What else? Surrender. Trust your higher self. Forgive and release. It's a time to release and heal. Absolutely. Beautiful flower on there. Maybe that's the message. Maybe the message or the underlying emotions that you have are forgiveness and release of something. Someone doesn't have to be a person. You might need to forgive yourself for something. Being hard on yourself. On the bottom of the deck, storm, disruption, chaos, change. And I tell you, I pull chaos cards in every deck that has one lately. There is chaos in the external world, and for many of us in our internal worlds, and we are being called to deal with it. It's not it may feel like something we want to continue to avoid, but it may be the very thing that we need to set us free, right? Structure. I'm just going to read these really quickly. Maintain the structures in your life if you want them to last. In the world of matter, everything is built on... Oops, let's drop my book. Everything is built on a certain structural formula. We have atoms that form into molecules. As these gather together in groups, they build structure. But structure is not found in just the world of matter. We have structure in the form of rules and expectations in our families, love and work partnerships, communities, and societies. The structure that you build your life on must first have a strong foundation or it will eventually come crumbling down. How do we determine if our foundations are strong? There's an inner knowing that we often ignore when it comes to the strength of our relational structures. Are we being treated well and with respect? Are we respecting others? Is there a support system that serves all involved? Do we have reasonable expectations of ourselves and others? This is the basis for the stability and strength of our relationships. When this card comes up in a reading, it may be asking you to reflect on the structures in your life, specifically your relationships with love, family, and work. Like the bees. Where can you strengthen these relationships, and are there some that need to be rebuilt from scratch or maybe even demolished altogether? When the storm and structure cards both come up in a reading, wow, this is a big opportunity to level up, gain big ground, and make lasting, impactful shifts in your life. What just came out? Storm. This is an auspicious time, guys and girls. Affirmation for this card is I create and maintain solid foundations in all aspects of life. These assist me to weather whatever storms or trials may come. Right. If this is your opportunity, your wheel of fortune, your destiny is unfolding. And it requires you to reevaluate your relationships and your relationships to people. That's a roadmap. That is guidance. That is exactly what you need to do. There's so much about this life that we don't know what, we have no idea what we're supposed to do. And this feels like clear instructions. Focus on your relationships, your community, cooperating with others. Surrender. Trust that the journey is for your highest growth. And this is to looking at the pictures on the cards. This looks like a robin or some other type of, maybe a mockingbird. And this feminine is like swinging from the bird's feet. Like, I'm going to whatever heights you take me to. Right? The entire universe is conspiring to your highest good. Radical trust is what is required for you right now in some aspect of your life. It is our default setting to try to control outcomes, control all the steps to reach a goal, control our feelings, control others' actions, control. This level of control is forceful and does not allow the natural flow to occur. There is a divine order to things in our universe. We must at times trust that things will work out on their own. When we are in resistance to something, this is the sign that there needs to be some level of surrender or trust. The word surrender may trigger feelings of weakness. If this is true for you, use trust or another word. So instead of surrender, you can use trust. I like to do that. To truly surrender to love or to your higher self, to source or the universe, is actually a strength and not a weakness. It is an act of devotion. Realizing that you don't have all the answers and don't always know the exact path to get where you're going is a strength because it creates space to learn, to be supported and guided, and to be conditionally loved and... All right. I might have to start this over because I'm reading these all wrong. Cannot mess that word up. Realizing that you don't have all the answers and don't always know the exact path to get where you're going is a strength because it creates space to learn, to be supported and guided, to be unconditionally loved and protected. There we go. If this card comes up for you, take notice. It is time to release. Oh my God. Yeah, I promise I know how to read. It's time to release the constriction, the tight grip you have on a situation, problem, relationship, or other. Trust that if you give this situation over to the goddess and ask to be shown the way, you will receive what you need to move forward in greater alignment. The affirmation is, I trust that all things will resolve themselves or be resolved perfectly in due time. So all this talk about like you can't control. What do you do when you plant something? How many times have we heard that analogy that you can't put a seed in some dirt and then keep digging it up to check to see if it's growing? Like, you have to leave it alone. You have to walk away from it. You have to do other things while it's growing. Give it space to grow. That's surrender. That's devotion to the process that the universe knows how to grow something without our help. The photosynthesis happens without human intervention, right? The seed doesn't get planted in that particular spot by itself. But how do forests grow? As my aunt, passed over aunt, who's my ancestor now, Aunt Myrtle, she told me about volunteer trees, that this is what pollen does. They send their seeds and they plant themselves, and they become new plants and eventually new trees. So you can plant one tree on one side of the road and it might spawn and create a tree on the other side of the road. So it doesn't require anything from us. That's a reminder of surrender. And when you surrender and you allow the universe, for God is to do whatever needs to be done for our highest good, you get the harvest. The harvest comes because you do what is in your power to do. And it doesn't require any, despair doesn't help the situation. It just hinders your ability to appreciate it. That's all it does. It's useless. Worry is useless. And worry is anxiety. By the way, that's what leads to anxiety. Worrying, fixating. Forgive, release. All right, I'm going to try to read this without stumbling over my words. Help me, Spirit. Can you release anger for the benefit of your own healing? Ouch. Oh my gosh. Guilt and anger act as slow poisons in the body, mind, and spirit. Forgiveness is truly one of the most effective medicines for healing aspects of self, including disease of the physical self. When you hold on to anger, hate, or other toxic emotions, you are actually re-traumatizing yourself on an ongoing basis, both consciously and subconsciously, by maintaining this frequency in your aura. It's like a low hum that is being broadcast into your life. Okay, sorry, this is a bit longer. This card is asking you to explore the possibility of using the medicine of forgiveness and release in your life in big and or small ways. I think I said something about forgiveness. Many will use the rationale that forgiveness isn't deserved, that forgiveness could condone the act and would give themselves or others a pass on a terrible thing that was done. Forgiveness isn't actually done for the person, it's done for your healing. The act of forgiveness is first and foremost an act of release, of no longer holding on to a toxic frequency. It's the understanding and acceptance that what has happened cannot be undone, but that you are ready to let go of its hold on you. You no longer want to be defined by what has happened in the past, no matter how wrong it was. This is not about releasing an oppressor from responsibility or karmic implications for what they've done to you or others. This is about releasing the oppressor and trauma from your energy body so that they and it can no longer harm you. I said they can no longer arm you, which is actually another interpretation of that. They can't harm you and they can't arm you with a way to hold on to something. Like some people, this is not unlike victim mentality. If I'm holding a grudge against you, I always have armor. I always have ammunition to fire back at you. But what is that doing to you? It's a process, and even with the desire to forgive and release, it often doesn't happen all at once. You may try to forgive yourself for the way you've treated yourself, or maybe how you treated others, and then later find that you're still feeling bad about it. Let yourself feel what comes up, cry the tears, and forgive again. Do this same thing when forgiving or releasing others. It may take repeated attempts, a little release at a time, and if you can't release it just yet, that's okay. You can contemplate the possibility for now and be gentle with yourself. Give yourself as much love as you can. Imagine holding yourself like the beautiful, innocent child that you are. I'm going to say that again. Give yourself as much love as you can. Imagine holding yourself like the beautiful, innocent child that you are. I don't care what we've been through. I don't care what you've done. You are still a beautiful, innocent child. In the universe's perspective, right? We still have our opportunities every day, every moment to do better. The affirmation here is, I grant myself forgiveness My energy has now risen above and beyond any errors I may have made in the past. And another one, I forgive and release person or situation. I am free to heal and grow. Forgive and release. Absolutely. Absolutely. Recycle. Break down the problems. Break it down to something you need to learn. Break it down to something you need to resolve and release. Shoving a big couch through a door is not going to work. You can't just pick it up, and you might have to maneuver it a little bit. You might have to turn and lift it up and change the angle and get help. You cannot, most people cannot move couches by themselves. So that's another way to think about this. It might take more than one attempt. It may take small incremental changes and moves, but it's worth it. And this storm card. The obstacle is the way. Whew. Let that sink in. Are you experiencing a time of challenge or tough waters? The storm card refers to big shifts, uncomfortable transitions, full-on chaos, and or unforeseen change. When the storm card reveals itself, it generally means that there are things in your life that are not serving your growth and highest good, and there will be some disruption to the status quo. The universe is shaking things up to make needed changes. The storm card may be alerting you to a rumbling in your life that needs your attention before it becomes a giant storm. This is an opportunity to assess and reprioritize what is important to you so that you can align to your needs in a more harmonious way. If you're already in the midst of a storm, this card is here to tell you that sometimes it's best to throw up your hands and ride it out, offer the things that you can't control to your higher self, and ask this cosmic aspect of you to help align things to your highest good. Please know that when things get hard, this too shall pass. As if the storm has already come and disrupted in your life, and if the storm has already come and disrupted your life in big or small ways, then it's time to pick up the pieces. It's time to look at your life and consider what you may want to do differently moving forward. There is an opportunity for rebirth here, a chance to plant new seeds. There is a saying, the obstacle is the way, which means that there is something for you to end the challenge ahead, generally in the form of growth and new opportunities. The affirmation is, I give thanks to the storm for clearing the path before me. For sure. If you're one of those people like me that that you like to continue driving in the rain, you know, so you see some people pull over on the side of the road under a bridge and think that they're waiting it out. That storm may still be in the direction that you're headed, you know, so you might be taking a break from it, but you're about to drive right back into it. So why not continue, if you can, safely continue driving until you get ahead of the storm? What a concept. If I stay in it until I make it out of it, I'm still headed in the direction I need to go. The storm is the way. If we think of it that way. And this beautiful butterfly, I see it as a butterfly, maybe a moth, not sure. Which I just found out that when the difference between them, the butterfly lands, their wings are upright, and when a moth lands, they splay their wings out. So this may be a moth. And also this sacred geometry, which makes me think of divine order, you know, the order of God, the universe, and nature. It's part of nature. Storms are a part of nature. You know, there's all these conspiracy theories that we have the ability to control storms, and I think we do to some extent, especially typhoons and water disasters. But the storms happen because things need to shift. Things need to be shaken up. Which is true in our lives. So this Four of Cups, this could be the reminder that you don't need to hold back anymore. With the moon, the cycle, there's another butterfly. This is a beginning of a new phase. don't have to do this anymore. You do have to go through the storm. There's no way that we can avoid storms. But if you allow it to be the way through, it may change your life. It will change your life, but you can embrace it. You can't resist it. You can't make thunder stop rolling. You can't make rain go back up in the clouds. Like, we have to deal with it. So why not think of the renewal that comes after a storm, the rebuilding that comes after a storm? Focus on that instead of the disaster, the possible disaster. They don't always cause disasters. They don't always destroy things. Sometimes they just move through and we continue on. So to know if this is your reading, here's a zodiac sign. Oh, it's not a zodiac sign. It says love, for sure. You could equate this to a love connection. I don't know why I'm hearing you just could have just gotten a tattoo of the word love. Or you know someone who has. Could just see the word love everywhere. You might be saying that could be a synchronicity for you. Maybe you're going to start seeing it everywhere. Also getting, you could be seeing 214. I see 214 a lot, which of course reminds me of Valentine's Day. So you could be seeing 214. Here is okay, I'm not sure what this is. I want to say it's some type of Celtic symbol. It has to do with Odin. Let's look it up, actually. Okay, yeah, it is a trinity, not a triquetra. Symbolizing for some the Christian concept of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but also can be representative of eternal life, spiritual unity, and the unbreakable connection between mind, body, and spirit. So, yeah, that is that could be something that you identify with. Celtic ancestry or lineage. Could just be fascinated by it. Also could have been seeing this symbol. Another butterfly. You could be seeing butterflies. Feel like you're making a transformation of some type. Let's get a couple more. Wow. This is my two-sided heart. This feels like two hearts beat as one. Huh. Somebody could be pregnant. I'm getting two heartbeats. Never gotten that with that charm before, but did today. Somebody's having a little baby. I don't know why I said it like that. Are you in British part of the world, British country? It's a bird. Looks like our bird on this card. Like a robin. So you could have robins that feed in your yard. I've heard spiritual meanings for that. Like, it means messages are coming in soon. Some specific messages coming in soon. Maybe this will be a message that will give you an opportunity to speak about your truth. It's going to be a conversation. It will help you with the next phase of your life, possibly. Also hearing early bird gets the worm, so maybe that's something that you say or somebody close to you has said around you about taking advantage of opportunities, of course. Let me get a couple more. I like this is a wide range of folks that this might apply to. Ooh, it's a bat. So you could be a vampire. Very cool if you are a vampire watching this reading. But I'm sorry, the bats, vampire bats. They also make me think about intuition. They make me think about moving without sight. You know, like using your hearing, using your other senses to be able to navigate, to be able to do things with limited vision. You might feel like you're blind as a bat. You might wear glasses or contacts. Just recently had a procedure done to correct your vision. I just watched the Caterpillar documentary. It didn't feel like a documentary at all, on Netflix, about the guy that went to have the implants put in his eyes to change the color of them. It's actually kind of it was all over the place emotionally, but it's worth a watch if you like documentaries. But yeah, that's giving me somebody that wears glasses or somebody that likes to be up at night, not a morning person. And this feels like zodiac hooked on something else. Libra could be significant for you. And one more. One más, por favor. Peacock. Stretch your stuff. That's what I'm hearing. It's time to stretch your stuff. It's time to do something that is out of the ordinary. You could like peacocks. You could live near peacocks. Could have recently seen some peacocks at the zoo or wherever they are in your part of the world. May just feel like a peacock because you've done something to change your appearance. You might be called to dye your hair, cut it, grow it, extend it, wear wigs, shave it off. Like there's something about your wearing makeup, doing something different that changes the way that you look to people. So if that is significant for you, this could be your reading. And I am so appreciative of anyone that watches, comments, shares. If you feel like you want to, if you think this message might help anyone close to you, this full moon energy is definitely going to illuminate the need for change, for growth, for recycling, for even if it is uncomfortable, very necessary, very destined change that will be for your highest good. If you allow it, if you allow the storm to be the way, it will change your life for the better. So thank you. Thank you for watching. I love y'all. It's from my imagination to yours.